Hello everyone, this is Dr. Pritam Hait. Now I will continue the 3-hinge stiffening girder suspension bridge. First of all, I would like to say the 3-hinge stiffening girder, when it is subjected to different types of load, we will derive what is the effect of horizontal reaction, vertical reaction, and what are the bending moment, shear force at different point we will derive in this lecture. So let's start. In cable suspension bridges, it is necessary to maintain the parabolic shape of the cable. But the question is why we should maintain the parabolic shape of the cable. Just see here, the horizontal reaction at support A is H, and at support V, at support A, vertical reaction is, the horizontal reaction at support A is H and vertical reaction WL by 2. If the cable profile is not parabolic, the numerical value of H and V won't be consistent. Again I am telling, if the cable profile will not be parabolic, the H and V value won't be consistent. That means if the cable profile is not parabolic, then it may be H value is 10 and V value is 10,000. So or H value is 600 and V value is 15. So it is not consistent, but we would like to maintain the consistent horizontal reaction and vertical reaction. To maintain the consistent value of those reaction, we should maintain the cable profile as parabolic, right? So our motto is to maintain the cable profile as parabolic. If it is parabolic, then only the reactions in vertical and horizontal direction will be consistent. To satisfy this condition, the load transmitted to the cable should be uniformly distributed load. How we will maintain the cable profile as parabolic? If we maintain the load as uniformly distributed, if we maintain the load is applied on the cable structure as uniformly distributed load, then only the cable will be maintained as parabolic profile, right? To achieve this, what we can do? We can do as follows. The external loads are carried by two main 3-hinged or 2-hinged girders, while the girders are supported not only at the ends but also by closely spaced hangers connected to the cables. What I am doing, this is the straight girder, 3-hinge girder. This 3-hinge girder is not only connected, this is the 3-hinge girder, it is not only connected or not only supported at both the support, but also it is connected with the closely spaced hangers. These vertical lines are hangers. So these hangers are giving the support to the 3-hinge girder. This is called girder. Okay, so this girder is supported at point A and at point B. Not only it is resting on the point A and B, but also it is getting support by these closely spaced hangers, which is connected with the main cable. Okay, now this load is uniformly distributed and transmitted to the main cable. In this way we can transmit the load as uniformly distributed from girder to the cable. In the following figure, a 3-hinge stiffening girder supported at the ends and connected to the main cable, right? Now let us consider the equilibrium of the cable and the stiffening girder separately. In this derivation, we will consider what are the forces and reactions in both cable and girder. We will calculate separately. So first, step 1, first we will consider the cable. In this cable, this is the what is happening? This is subjected to uniformly distributed load of WE per unit run transmitted by the hangers. The equation to the cable with say the end A as origin is y equals to 4h by L square x into L minus x. As this is the equation we have derived in earlier, so we will use this equation. This is the equation of the ordinate at any point the y coordinate or the ordinate means height. Okay, the ordinate at any point x, what will be the ordinate? Y equals to 4h by l square x into l minus x. This expression we have derived in the earlier lecture. So what will be the vertical reaction at support A and at support B? V equals to WL by 2. This vertical reaction I am getting as follows. See, W per unit run is working throughout the girder and it is working for L span. So what is the total load? W into L. So each support will give WL by 2 and WL by 2 reaction. This is the vertical reaction at each support. V equals to WL by 2. Now what will be the horizontal reaction? H equals to WL square by 8H, that we had determined in the earlier lecture. Now what will be the maximum tension? Tmax equals to under root V square plus H square. How it is coming? It is the tangent, or it is the resultant force at either support A or support B. So this Tmax will be under root H square plus under root V square. So here I can put the value of H as WL square by 8H and value of V as WL by 2. So in this way we can calculate the maximum tension at support and the minimum tension at the center point of the cable. So here we have calculated the horizontal reaction, vertical reaction and maximum tension. Here just see, maximum tension is occurring at the support points, that is Tmax equals to under root V square plus H square. Now step 2, consider the girder. Okay, now we will calculate the bending moment, right? While I am calculating the bending moment of the girder, we will consider the uniformly distributed load and externally applied point load separately. Again I am explaining, the uniformly distributed load we will consider separately and the externally applied point load will be considered separately. First we are considering the externally applied loads here in this girder. So if the externally applied load will be acting in downward direction, W1 and W2, so the reaction force will be in upward direction. In the second case I am only considering uniformly distributed load which is coming from the girder, that is acting in upward direction, so the reaction will be downward direction. Then only this girder will be in equilibrium condition, right? So once we are considering the point load, externally applied point load, the reactions are upward direction, and separately while we are considering the uniformly distributed load that is in upward direction, then the reaction force at the supports will be in downward direction, right? So come to the point. This is subjected to two load system, namely first applied external load system W1 and W2, upward uniformly distributed load WE per unit run. Again I am explaining, this is subjected to two load system, namely the applied external load system W1 and W2 and upward uniformly distributed load WE per unit run. Consider any section X of the girder distant X from the end A. Let us consider Mx is the bending moment at the section for the first of the above two external load, considering the girders as simply supported beam. That means while I am deriving the bending moment calculation, I will consider the point load, externally applied point load separately and uniformly distributed load separately. Now what is the bending moment is generating due to the externally applied point load. Just I am assuming due to the externally applied point load, the bending moment is Mx. Mx is the bending moment. Mx is the bending moment due to externally applied point load, that is W1 and W2. I am assuming the Mx is the bending moment due to the point load W1 and W2. So what will be the net bending moment? The net bending moment at any cross section X, the net bending moment at any cross section X will be what? Here already mx bending moment is existing, okay, as due to the point load the bending moment will be sagging, right? Due to the point load is working in downward direction, so the bending moment at this cross section will be sagging. Sagging means positive bending moment, so this will be positive bending moment. Now due to the uniformly distributed load, what will be the bending moment? The rate load intensity is W and the distance is x, and the CG distance of this load will be acting in at x by 2 direction, x by 2 distance. So and UDL will be will try to bend this girder in upward direction, like this, upward direction. So it will try to sag the cross section. So due to UDL the bending moment will be positive, so plus W into x, the load is W, load intensity is W and it is working x length, so W into x, and the CG distance is at x by 2, so x square by 2. This is positive because this UDL is trying to bend this girder and the induced bending moment is sagging moment, so this is positive. Due to the WL by 2 load, this load is trying to bend this portion of the girder in downward direction, so it will induce a hogging moment, so the hogging moment will be negative, so I can write minus WL by 2 into this distance is x, so WL by 2 into x, so this will be the net bending moment at this cross section x, which is situated at x distance from left end. So this is the net bending moment. M equals to mx minus WL by 2 into x plus W x square by 2. It can be written as mx equals to minus W by 2 into x into L minus x. This is equation 1, right? Now come to the cable. Considering the corresponding point x of the cable, we have h into y. Just we are doing multiplying h into y. We will use this h into y, we will explain later. Just do simply h into y. What is the value of h? W L square by 8h. What is the value of y? 4h by L square, x into L minus x. So hy equals to, we can write W by 2 x into L minus x. This is equation 2, okay? Now here we have determined the net bending moment M equals to mx minus W by 2 x into L minus x. This is equation 1, and here we have determined W by 2 x into L minus x equals to hy. So using equation 1 and equation 2, we can replace this portion with hy. So in this equation we can write, this is h into y, so the net bending moment equals to M equals to mx minus hy, right? So here we can write using equation 1 and equation 2 M equal to mx minus hy. Here the quantity hy is called h moment because this h moment is induced due to the horizontal reaction and multiplied by horizontal reaction with the lever arm, that is y, deep of the cable at the center point. So this moment is called h moment. Thus the actual bending moment at any section is given by M equals to beam moment minus h moment. What is beam moment? This is beam moment. What is beam moment? This is beam moment. This is due to the point load. Beam moment is induced due to the point load, and h moment is induced due to the horizontal reaction, okay? So the net bending moment M equals to mx minus hy, where mx is the beam moment and hy is the h moment, right? Applying this condition to the hinge C of the girder where the bending moment is 0, we get M equals to 0 equals to mc minus hy. How? See here, mc equals to beam moment at point C. We know the net bending moment at point C is 0, but we don't know what is the beam moment. Beam moment is different and net beam moment is different. The net bending moment is same and beam moment is different. So the beam moment is due to the externally applied point load and net bending moment is beam moment minus H moment. So we only know the net bending moment at point C is 0, but we don't know what is the beam moment at point C. So we can write the net bending moment at point C is 0 equals to beam moment minus H moment. So beam moment is MC minus H moment is HY. So we can write MC minus HY equals to 0. Just see here, the net bending moment at C point 0. We can write the net bending moment equals to beam moment minus H moment. So MC minus HY. So from here in this equation we can write MC minus HY equals to 0, therefore MC equals to H into Y, therefore H equals to MC by Y, and at the center point Y equals to small h, so we can write H equals to MC by H. Now it is easy to determine the uniformly distributed load transmitted to the cable from the relation H equals to WL square by 8H we know. So what will be the W value? WE equals to 8H by L square. This is the rate of loading or load intensity working on the girder, right? After finding out WE, we can calculate the vertical reaction at each support, that will be V equals to WL by 2, okay, and the maximum tension also we can determine. In the place of V we can put WL by 2 and in the place of H we can put WL square by 8H. So in this way we can calculate the maximum tension Tmax equals to under root V square plus H square, right? Now come to the step 4, calculation of shear force. Shear force at any section of the girder S equals to Sx minus WL by 2 plus Wx. How it is coming? Sx is the shear force. Sx is the shear force due to the externally applied load working on the girder. Due to only the externally applied load, the shear force is Sx, and due to the other load, that means UDL, this component is Wx, and due to the support reaction this component is WL by 2, okay. Sx minus WL by 2 plus Wx. Wx is due to the UDL. Just see here, this is a cross section, X cross section. It is situated at distance X. At this point the shear force is Sx, okay. This Sx shear force is due to the externally applied load system W1 and W2 at the distance X. So what will be the net shear force? Just see here, the net shear force will be calculated considering all the point load, all the UDL and support reaction. So I have considered only the point load and I have determined due to the point load shear force is Sx. Now let me calculate what is the net shear force due to all the loads. So net shear force due to all the loads equals to S equals to the existing shear force Sx plus the UDL is working upward direction, and what is the value of UDL? W into X, and what is and this support reaction is acting downward direction, so minus W by 2, okay. Again I am explaining, at cross section X which is situated at a distance X, the shear force due to the externally applied load system is Sx. Now I will calculate the total shear force or net shear force at cross section X equals to S equals to Sx plus UDL is working upward direction, so I can write plus Wx, because W is the load intensity and X is the distance, so total load will be W into X, and the support reaction is working downward direction, so minus WE L by 2. So the net shear force is S equals to Sx plus Wx minus WL by 2. So I have written here S equals to Sx minus WL by 2 plus Wx. So if we simplify it, we will get S equals to Sx minus W by 2 into L minus 2x. Now for the cable with the left end as origin, I am considering the left end origin of the cable. The equation to the cable can be written as y equals to 4h by L square x into L minus x. The slope of the cable at any section, that is tan theta, equals to, can be written as dy dx equals to 4h by L square L minus 2x. If you do the derivative this function with respect to x, what you will get, just see here, here is 4h by L square into x into L. So L will be cancelled. So we will get x minus 4h by L square into x square, right? 4 into 4h x into L by L square. So L cancel. So here is L. So if you do the derivative of this function, what we will get? The derivative of this function is 4h by L. So 4h by L will come out. So if you multiply 4h L into divided by L square, so you will get 4h by L, and the derivative of this function will be 4h by L square into 2x. So 8hx by L square. So we have 8hx by L square, right? We know h equals to we L square by 8h. So we have tan theta equals to dy dx equals to 4h by L square L minus 2x, and h equals to w L square by 8h. So we will calculate h tan theta. Simply we will calculate h tan theta. What is the value of h? W L square by 8h. I write here w L square by 8h. What is the value of tan theta? I write here 4h by L square L minus 2x. So I write here 4h by L square L minus 2x. So simply I am calculating h tan theta value is we by 2 L minus 2x. This is equation 4, right? Now go to the equation 3. This equation 3, we have derived the net shear force is Sx minus we by 2 L minus 2x. This we by 2 L minus 2x is nothing but h tan theta. So to replace that term, we have calculated h tan theta. So now we can write in place of, now we can write h tan theta in place of w by 2 L minus 2x. So here we can write h tan theta in place of this w by 2 L minus 2x term. So the net shear force will be h equals to Sx minus h tan theta. So here we have determined from equation 3 and 4, net shear force S equals to Sx minus h tan theta. That means the net shear force at any cross section S equals to beam shear minus h tan theta. So this is the net bending moment, M equals to beam moment minus h moment, and net shear force S equals to beam shear minus h tan theta. So in this way we can calculate the net shear force and net bending moment at any cross section of a 3-hinge girder subjected to point load. Okay.